Hi guys, how's your day? I hope as good as mine. Today, I have new family drama stories for you. I don't know about you, but I find the first one hilarious. It's about nosy in-laws. Enjoy. I recently got engaged and took some time off to visit our parents and start planning. First stop was mine, and then his. I suffer from chronic pain and take a variety of meds which cause a decrease in appetite and nausea. I haven't disclosed my illness to my in-laws, but a few nights ago, I could hear her complaining about I'm too good to eat what they cook. I let it go. Yesterday, fiancé took me around his hometown. On the way back, he remembered to get beer, but we were already pulling into the driveway. I was tired, so he dropped me off. His parents were waiting for me in the living room, angry. Future mother-in-law, you really think you can pull the wool over our eyes, do you? You think you can bring D into our house? Me, motioning to a seat because my legs hurt. Future mother-in-law, no, you stand. How dare you bring this disgusting nonsense into our house? I reach for my cell phone and she yells at me to keep my hands at my side. Future mother-in-law, I don't care how legal this stuff is. We don't allow this garbage in our house. She pulls out a plastic-wrapped package and I immediately know what it is. My husband took a bite out of it and got sick. I'm pissed off right now because this was at the bottom of my luggage. And then she starts going off about how many pills I take. Again, wouldn't know if you hadn't gone through my stuff. And how her son doesn't deserve a D. She takes my package and shows me where future father-in-law took a few bites and threw up soon after. It's been 10 minutes and my fiancé is back. His mom asks if he knows all the medication I'm on and how I brought pee into their house. He can't get a straight answer about how they know about my medicine, but then he glances at the package and just sighs. Fiancé, Mom, it's soap. It even says African black soap. He broke off a piece, headed to the kitchen, and washed his hands with it, showing them the lather. Future mother-in-law fired back, saying that she's never seen soap like that and that this doesn't explain the amount of meds I take. They say they're justified in what they did because they want the best for their son, and since it's their house, they can go through personal belongings at will. I let them have it. I start screaming and cussing because I'm exhausted and tired. I can't remember everything I said, but my throat has been a mess from all of the screaming. Future father-in-law tried to give me back the soap, but I kind of threw it at him, saying I don't want his gum disease. Terrible, I know. We're staying at a hotel and not talking to his parents. I feel I could have gone about it better. I wanted a good relationship with my in-laws, and we've always kind of gotten along. Now I feel like I ducked up badly. I think OP is not an idiot. How dare they search her luggage? How dare he eat what he must have assumed was food? I found that part funny, to be honest. I think they made up their minds that they disliked OP before and went through their things looking for justification for not liking OP. So, you kind of can't ruin what's already been ruined. So right now, both of my kids, 16-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter, and my ex are extremely mad at me because I won't give up my appointed time with them. My son won't even talk to me, and my daughter is crying all the time. A little backstory. Me and my ex divorced shortly after my daughter was born. I blame him for it, and he blames me. I won't go into detail here. We ended up with a 50-50 custody agreement, switching every other week. While this was 8 years ago, we're still not on good terms. We rarely ever talk to each other outside of the kids, and I'm perfectly fine with that. One thing that we have agreed on since the beginning, though, is that we don't plan things on days that aren't ours. And unless it's extremely important, we don't switch days or weeks. In the 8 years since we've been divorced, I have never asked him to have the kids on a day that isn't mine, and I've never given him one of my days, even if he begged. Well, last week my ex contacted me and told me the good news. His parents are hosting a week-long family reunion in the summer at Disneyland, and he wants to take the kids. Well, the problem is that it's on one of my weeks. He asked me to let the kids stay with him that week, or to switch a week with me, and I shot him down. It's my week with them, and I get to spend it with them. I told him if it's so important to him to reschedule, but he claims his parents can't do that, and this is the only week that the whole family can go, and he told me that I need to think of them. I told him, tough luck, and hung up on him. Well, this last Sunday when my ex dropped the kids off with me, my son refused to talk to me at all, and my daughter wouldn't even look at me. When I asked my ex what was wrong, he refused to talk to me, only saying, "Ask them," in a snarky tone before leaving. When I asked my daughter what was wrong, she burst into tears and said that I was not letting Daddy take them to Disneyland. Asking my son, who still refuses to talk to me, it turns out that my ex told them I was not letting them go to Disneyland with him. He's trying to point me as the bad guy. I sat both of them down last night to talk to them and explain it's my week with them, but they refused to listen to me. My daughter just cried, and my son told me I'm only doing this to get back at my ex. I'm not, though. I think it's unfair for him to do this when his parents scheduled it during my time with them. I demanded an apology from my ex and him to set things straight, but he refuses. And his last text to me being, "Can't tell them the truth because they already know it." I'm so pissed right now. Am I the idiot because my ex scheduled something during my time with my kids? How is it my fault that I'm only using my right to spend time with them? Okay, guys, so this story made my blood boil. What a selfish idiot mother. Yes, complete idiot. She is saying that he's trying to paint her as the bad guy, but she is the bad guy. She is being incredibly small, selfish, and petty, and it sounds like she is using this opportunity to get back at her ex and his family somehow. What she is really doing is damaging her relationship with her kids. If she wants to have a good relationship with her kids, she needs to be more flexible. I just felt so much hate coming from her. She should get over it, as they divorced 8 years ago. Time to move on, lady. I'm 28 with no kids. My girlfriend is 26 and has an 8-year-old son from her previous relationship. She was with the guy since they were kids, but when she got pregnant, he dropped the ball. She had it pretty hard during the early years, and it was a huge struggle for her to balance work, school, and her son. She made it work and is now in law school. The kid's dad made a change about 3 years back when his own father died and has since been helping. We've been together for a year and 2 months, and I really do love her. However, when we first got together, she did mention that she doesn't see herself having other kids because it was incredibly hard. She values her time alone when her kid is away, and she wants to travel with her son, being that he's bigger now. Also, that she has a school-aged kid and doesn't want to start over with an infant. We were too early for me to complain about it or try to change her mind. It wasn't brought up again for some time. Fast forward to last night. We were watching something, and I mentioned that my coworker has left work to have her 4th kid. She said that she couldn't imagine having that many kids. I got a little offended, being that my parents had 5. She told me that that's what worked for my parents, but it wouldn't work for her. I asked why, and she listed the reasons above, and that 4 kids is just excessive. I tried to reason it down to 3 or even 2. She said she doesn't want any children but her son. The way I see it, the only reason it was so hard was because of her age when she first had him. My logic is that any future children we produce will be secure, and she won't be alone or have to struggle. For background, I have 4 siblings while she has 1 sister who lives in another state. She doesn't understand how important siblings are. I told her if she's unwilling to have even 1 child for me in the future, then we're done. She agreed and said we're done then, and I'm incredibly hurt. This is a hill she's willing to die on. She's super smart, but so hard-headed. No matter what I said all night, she wouldn't hear it or budge her views at all. I'm hurt because I made the empty threat, and she very easily went through with it. I'm not feeling valued at all. I love this woman, and the thought of us having an expiration date kills me. I want to marry her and have kids with her, and she's just uninterested. She also said I was being an a-hole and not taking her experience into account when I totally am. I acknowledge how hard it was for her, which is why I think she would have a totally different experience if she tried again. She's not 18 anymore and will have me by her side. I want her back, but don't know what to say. She seemed very certain when she agreed to the breakup. Please tell me, am I the idiot? I think yes, OP is an idiot. She told him she doesn't want any more kids from the beginning. She was very clear about that, and it was a little bit naive from OP to think he can change her mind. I don't think this relationship has a future. It doesn't look like OP's girlfriend is thinking about family at all, and that's what OP wants. So they were going to part ways from the beginning. Update. Well, it has been about 3 weeks since my breakup, and it took almost that full time to let it sink in what I've really done. I self-wallowed for some time and attempted to guilt trip her and get my siblings to talk to her for me. What a mistake that was. She called and ripped me a new one worse than you guys did. She told me that she was thrilled we're not together and that I'm manipulative and disgusting. That left me really shocked, and I had to review my behavior over the time we had been together. I think that over my life, I always had an idea that with enough perseverance, anyone's mind can be changed. I don't know where I got this from. I guess I thought it was a sign of being a strong person. Like taking what you want from life, even when the chances are slim. It sounds stupid, because it is. I reread my post just now and cringed the whole way through. Even the language I used showed that she was right, and I am manipulative. She's a human being, and I didn't treat her with respect. I played with our relationship to get her to change her mind about something very important to her. I deserve what happened. I also have realized that our views on the relationship were a little different. She had never brought up marriage or anything, while it had crossed my mind almost daily because I really was so enamored. So I probably looked insane going on about having 3 children. It sounds so stupid to me now. Among the things she said on the phone, one was that she found my lack of respect for her body and choices appalling. I wasn't asking her to be forgiven, but I wanted to express how much her and her son meant to me. And as most dumped people tend to do, I couldn't even give a crap about what I was bitching about in the first place. I miss going to the park with her and her son. Those days were nice and calm, and I didn't appreciate them. I let some fictional children and my bad habits ruin something good. I have a lot of self-reflecting to do, and while I'm still sad, I know now that her dumping me was really for the best. Prior to lockdown, I decided to be a single mother by choice. The journey to accepting this has taken 2 years and included counseling and a very thorough plan to ensure I could do this alone. I was happy with my decision. And I was at a good place in my life where I realized my desire to be a mother was stronger than looking for a partner, which may or may not happen. And with my fertility declining, I chose to go down this path as a solo woman. Right before I was due to have artificial insemination with donor S, the pandemic hit, and treatments were canceled. There was no timeline for when things may reopen. For a few days, I was devastated as I was so mentally prepared for this, and then I picked myself up and decided to park my plan. After all, I didn't have a choice. I downloaded a dating app out of curiosity and figured that I could still chat to guys and see what happened, without any expectation really. I've been talking with a guy, let's call him G, and it's only been a month, so very early stage. However, we've met up twice, with a third meeting planned, spoken many times on the phone, and I get a really good feeling for him. For the first time in years, quite frankly, I feel emotionally connected with a man, and it feels completely natural and promising. During this time, my clinic called me to say that they have approved to open, and I do wish to go ahead this month with my treatment. I want to be a mother more than ever, so I said yes, and I'm now on medication with my appointment set for next week. While there's no guarantee I'll get pregnant on the first go, I have a conflict in my mind about informing G of my plan. On the one hand, it's at such an early stage in our romance, without yet being anything committed, that I feel like I'm bringing something up prematurely. On the other hand, I wonder what may happen as time goes on. Am I just delaying the inevitable? Is it deceptive of me not to inform him of something so fundamental in my life? A friend told me that I'd sabotage a potential relationship with him by telling him any of this plan right now, and that a man who really is into me will accept me even if I'm pregnant, and that more time is needed for him to really get to know me. But in my mind, I'm wondering if it will piss him off by suddenly saying, "Hey, I'm pregnant, by the way." We've spoken loosely about wanting kids in the future, so I know he'd like a family, but it was a brief passing conversation. I'm also not willing to wait to get into a long-term relationship, and we are far too early on to be thinking about a family together. Will I be the idiot by keeping quiet about the plan for now? What can I say, guys? Yes, She will definitely be the idiot if she hides this important information from him. She should let him know while it's still early in the process and he's not that attached. Waiting could be trapping them. Also, OP's friend is giving terrible advice. If he's really into her, he'll accept her even if she's pregnant? Hard no. This guy has known her for a month. Her getting pregnant without explanation is going to be nothing but red flags, and I don't know many guys that would stick around for that. Update. So I decided to tell him the truth. I explained my situation about taking 2 years to come to this decision, how my fertility clinic had shut due to COVID, which was why I had gone back onto dating apps. I explained how my clinic had reopened after meeting him, and how important it was to me to continue in my journey to become a mother. I knew this was baggage he hadn't expected, and that there was every chance he would step away from the situation. Well, he didn't. We're now in a committed relationship, and he's been supporting me in my journey. I've had 2 unsuccessful artificial inseminations with donor S, my original plan, and we've spoken about having a child together. As early on as it may seem, he told me my honesty made him consider his own future, and how he really wants a family someday, and how he has admiration for me being honest about my situation, and how he wants to help me fulfill my desires to be a mother, whether with him or with donor S. Either way, he wants to be a part of my life. I wanted to provide this outcome as a positive outcome has come out of being labeled an idiot, and it pushed me to do the right thing, which has in turn meant I have the most understanding and accepting boyfriend. Had I kept this info from him, it would have played on my conscience, as well as most likely have caused him to not trust me.